The game is very good, even for today's standards. I really enjoyed my time with Fallout. With Fallout 2. At some point during gameplay, I experienced a burnout. Like after visiting a couple of big cities, I got burnout with all the talking and dialogues and all that shit. What made the game a lot... I took a break for a couple of months. I came back with renewed interest in the game, and that turned out pretty well. Most tedious thing of all, the inventory management. Again, I have talked about this a lot of times when I was playing the game. I understand it's an old game. It was released in the late 90s, right, I understand. But on the other hand, you had other games released at that time, like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And they had a lot better inventory management than this shit. This is disgusting, like... And this doesn't need... whoever designed this UI... Like... Bro... I don't know what he was on, but what drugs he was on, but it was horrific. And again, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, ancient games by today's standards. 25 years have passed, but their inventory management and party management and even pathfinding is a lot better. So yeah, this game suffered greatly, at least for me. It tested my patience. It really tested my patience with the pathfinding, with the body blocking, like these idiots. The pathfinding is horrific, like you see here. This thing that you have to push the NPC to enter somewhere, and you have to do it again and again and again, especially with your party. When you go in and out and you want to go out, they're body blocking you all the time. Now they didn't, but there were countless times that I'm trying to get out and I'm get body blocked, especially in closed, in small areas like this one, or corridors. Oh my god, it was a fucking nightmare. I suffered, like really. You know, many other things that, for example, if you drop an item, let's say, good luck finding it, because this is a mod. And it highlights items. Normally the game doesn't have this. You have to actually pixel hunt. I wouldn't play the game vanilla. Many times when I was playing through the game, I was wondering, I was thinking to myself, nah, again the body block here. Very annoying. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. One of the worst things I have encountered in any game ever. And I've been playing games from the late 80s. I played this game vanilla when it came out in the 90s. And I've been questioning myself now that I replay it in 2025. Man, how did I do it? How did I play this game in vanilla state, right? Like, for example, let alone the combat, right? The combat. I have a mod, and you can individually control characters in combat. Otherwise, in vanilla game, you take your turn, you play with your main character, do what you wanna do during the turn, and then the NPCs do whatever they want. You have a bit of combat control here to tell them how to play, if they are aggressive, defensive, or you can go custom. And tell them when to burst or not to burst, but still, like, it doesn't really work. And some parts of the game, at the later stages, where you are fighting the Enclave and things are tough, I can't imagine how I played this game vanilla. Because the decisions that the NPCs, your companions, take during combat are most of the times retarded. And they end up doing the completely opposite thing from what you want them to do. For example, if you want to corner camp, let's say there are all these guys here are enemies, right? Again, this guy here, get out of the way, bro. Can I go in? No. Come on, man. You see what I mean? Like, it's disgustingly annoying. But for example, if you want to corner camp, like say take cover, stay here and then let the enemies come in, right? So for example, I will take this corner, my other guy can go up here, take cover there and corner camp, you know what I mean? Play with the angles of, while in combat. You can't do that shit. You can't be tactical because you will wait here and when, if in vanilla game, these idiots will go outside and started shooting things and they're gonna get destroyed, especially against Enclave. I don't know how I managed to play this game vanilla. It's unplayable. Vanilla, it's unplayable. If anyone is watching this and is thinking, dude, Fallout 2, everybody's saying that it's a fantastic game, one of the best RPGs ever made, right? I wanna play it. Please don't play it vanilla. Please don't play vanilla. Please consider modding it because you're not gonna have a good time. You're gonna, if you are like, you know, if you are born after the 2000s, don't play old games vanilla. Most of the times they're, it's a pain in the ass, man. It's a pain in the ass, and it's a pity because as a CRPG, what makes a CRPG good? What makes a CRPG good? A good story, good interactions, right? Atmosphere, and in that department, Fallout 2 is a masterpiece. Like, right, the writing is fantastic, the story is very good. I still prefer Fallout 1, as I prefer Baldur's Gate 1 to Baldur's Gate 2 when it comes to dialogue and exposition and story and all that. But still, Fallout 2 is a masterpiece. Atmosphere is one of the best in any game I've played, one of the best atmospheres. Like, after a while, it really communicates to you with the sound, the ambience, the music is fantastic. Fantastic music in the game. One of the best soundtracks, music tracks I've ever heard in a game. But the atmosphere, yeah, after you play a while, like you can really feel the post-apocalypse and or for example, I really appreciate the fact that in various communities, when you go around the map, in the overworld, how do they eat? How do they eat? They have wells, they have what's it called? They have animals. They grow crops. You can see all that stuff, all these little details contribute immensely to immersion. Because in other games, you see huge cities, and if you stop and think about it for a bit, how do they eat? What do they drink? Like they don't, especially in games like this, where or medieval games, there are no supermarkets, and you know, the food doesn't grow, doesn't fall from the sky. Someone has to grow it, you know. The meat that we eat, for example, the food that we eat doesn't grow in supermarkets. Someone grows it. What I'm getting to is that mechanically the game has many problems, right? Many problems. The UI especially. The UI is horrific. And the most tedious part, along with NPC pathing, these are my two major complaints. It doesn't matter. It isn't about money or technology, because back then when they made this game, the technology was more than enough to make a good UI. It wasn't about money and either, because this team had already its interplay. Like they had a team. Like they were a company. There weren't like two developers that made this game, or one developer. This is not a solo project. There was a whole team behind and a company, a well-known company back then. Interplay was very big back then. So yeah, these are my two complaints: UI and NPC pathfinding. But the essentials of what makes a CRPG good are there: the story, dialogues, choices and consequences. This is huge, man. This is huge. The paths that you, everything you do, not everything, but many things that you decide to do, even in small things, like trivial conversation you have with some NPCs, they can have negative and positive outcomes. It's not like in other games or modern CRPGs that it's an illusion of choice with modern games most of the times, and it's a cope, right? It's an easy way out for companies nowadays, for developers nowadays. The illusion of choice. You think you are choosing something, you think there's gonna be an outcome different, but every road, it's like, but in reality, every road leads to Rome most of the times with modern games. Not in this case, not with Fallout games, the Fallout 1 and 2. There are many different paths that when you start a conversation with someone, especially with key NPCs, most of the times there are many different paths that lead to many different ways to tackle problems or see different outcomes, good or bad. Sometimes you have 4 or 5 or more different ways that you can do things. Many times, not always. Still, there are limitations, even in Fallout 2. So yeah, also combat. Combat, basic, right? Turn-based, basic. But oh my god, how satisfying it is when you headshot somebody and they explode. I really enjoy how the effects and how the guns look. Even here, even in this, the only thing I like about the UI is this part here. I really love how the guns look, and this one, because it's iconic. I don't know. It reminds me of my childhood and when I was a teenager. These things, I like how it looks, but it doesn't work well. It's not practical. Like these things here, how this guy's cut in half, like. Or heads exploding or different other effects. Very satisfying. But as the concept is very basic. There are no... You can't really take cover and stuff like that. But again, because I was playing with a mod, I was controlling my teammates and I was mostly corner camping. For example, I would stay here, ignore him. The other dude would take this corner, and then we would pick, shoot, and then play the angle here. This gave me a nice tactical layer that normally Fallout 2 doesn't have. On the other hand, playing like this with a mod and controlling your character, it makes the game a bit easier. Not gonna lie, but for me more enjoyable and less frustrating, because vanilla game is very frustrating in many aspects. And don't get me starting about character creation, right? There are so many ways you can play in this game. Like, you can play like a complete idiot in this game, right? And you can still finish it, like with Intelligence 1, for example. And the outcomes and the conversations will be a lot different. You know, you can do stuff, crazy stuff like that. You can let your imagination go in this game when you create your character. You can really role play, right? And you can't do that in so many other games, modern games. You can't. They are called role-playing games, but they are not role-playing games. The graphics, you know, they're not anything spectacular, of course. Me personally, my favorite style of graphics, especially in CRPGs, is isometric style. I like what I see here. I don't have any problems with it. I really enjoy it. To some, this would seem, I don't know, low production, cheap, or old, or whatever. I really enjoy this style. I think 2D and isometric style of art ages like fine wine, while 3D ages like spoiled milk, especially 3D from early 2000s or mid 2000s or even late 2000s. So yeah, but graphically I really like it. There's a lot of details, many details when you go to interiors and stuff. One other thing I didn't like is that in many areas you go, in many buildings and stuff, um, I don't like how these buildings, for example, they don't have locked doors. You can go almost in any building. For example, I was in Vault City and there were a couple staying in their home and I would just open the door and get in. No locked doors. Who leaves their door open? Especially in the post-apocalypse. Come on, man. This doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't happen in 2025. You are telling me that in the post-apocalypse, with so many dangers and stuff, every door would be, in every house would be open. And to add insult to injury, for example, let's say this is her home, right? If I go in here and poke through her stuff, it's fine. No problem. This gave me seriously Witcher 3, the ridiculous Witcher 3 vibe, that I could go in anyone's house and take everything. There were I would go in, there would be a family sitting on the table eating or whatever, and I would go through their stuff, take everything I want, and no locked doors, no nothing. Like, I don't know, man. This kind of stuff is very immersion breaking to me. Also, one last thing. You may accuse me now of being sexist or whatever, but oh my god, with the female leaders in this game, right? Oh my fucking god. Ranger leader, female. NCR leader, female. Arroyo leader, female. Vault City leader, female. Give me a fucking break. Come on, bro. Are you serious? And many other roles of authority were played by females. Look, call me sexist, call me whatever you want. I don't care. Especially in a post-apocalyptic environment, there is no way in hell that this would be the case. It's even by today's standards, the biggest and strongest rule all the weak and small. It's how it is. The big fish eats the small fish. It's how it's always been, especially 100 years ago or 200 years or 1000 years ago. In the post-apocalypse, there would be slavery, there would be no civil rights, there would be none of that. And in this game, I don't know, I see stuff that are not realistic at all. I mean, it's a game with mutants and stuff. I get it. I shouldn't take these things too seriously. But again, I mean, it's a CRPG and there has to be some kind of logic. So what I'm saying really is this game, even if it's 25 years old, it's actually quite progressive in some parts. Anyway, that was my sexist rant. Accuse me now of being a bigot, but again, I don't care. This is my opinion. Yeah, that's about it. Would I replay the game? No. I mean, I don't have a lot of years still of life in this world, so there are other games I want to play. I wouldn't replay it for the third time. I know there are people that do multiple runs with different characters and stuff. I wouldn't do that, but especially vanilla. Please, again, don't play this game vanilla. It won't worth your time. It will frustrate you and you will drop it. Mod it with some quality of life. Alright, that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. Agree or disagree. If you have any thoughts or comments, let me know. I'm open for discussion. So yeah, I'll catch you later. Bye bye. Take care.